Well, Ian, it doesn't feel like a whole season since we were doing this similar interview. Great times last season, but now you just have to put that behind you, and we're talking about season 2019-20. I was at the Gated Theatre a few weeks ago listening to you being interviewed there, and you were talking about just having to get on with it, and you were talking about what you really needed for this club for next year, and you were looking at signings and re-signings. What's the position just now in terms of the signings or re-signings we've got at the club maybe first?
Well, we've re-signed all the boys I wanted to re-sign, with the exception of Robbie. All the guys have re-signed, ready to go. Jamie Adams and Craig Moore have only signed for 6 months because of the couple of problems they had. Adams in particular, I think, is quite a minor. He had an operation in his knee, it was quite minor. We hope he'll be back for the Betfred Cup. And I'll reiterate, Adams, for 14-15 games, I wouldn't have swapped him for any centre-back of his type in the league. So he's a big player for us. Murray's injury is a wee bit more complicated, but he, the specialist assures us that he should be training by August. So it just leaves basically, obviously the 3 or 4 that left, I would have liked to keep them, but there was no way we'd be able to do that. But Robbie has 4 offers on the table, and obviously he's got an offer from us, and I'll be speaking to him today or tomorrow to see what his decision is. I hope very much that he decides to give his hometown club or his home club another year, albeit he's been here a number of years already. Just hit with Robbie, I think if he can just add 6 or 7 goals, I think the type of clubs will be in from, albeit there's some good clubs in from, but will be a wee bit better. So we'll just need to wait to see about that.
What about the goalkeeping situation?
I'm very friendly with the manager at Celtic, so I think I don't know how much I can say here, but I think if he goes out on loan next season, which there's every possibility, I'm confident he'll be at United, which would be great for us because, as everybody knows, he was magnificent, absolutely outstanding, and in some ways he did a lot of things that you don't expect from a young goalie. His distances in terms of coming out, and the amount of times he took crosses in pressure situations was fantastic. And to add to that, he just fitted in fabulously well with our dressing room.
Now, so you've got a good bulk of the players you wanted to re-sign in, except for Robbie and probably Doohan, because you're still hoping.
Well, I was pleased the experienced one signed, because last season, it is hard to forget the last 2 seasons. We scored nearly 200 goals, I think we were about 5 short, and we had a very, very young team now, so I think it was important to sign the experienced core of the players. We do need a few players, but obviously we're about to talk, we've signed one today, which I'm very, very happy about.
Yeah, Sam Roscoe, central defender. I think fans will remember him. I think he played 2 games against us last season, 1 home.
Well, it was ever present until he hurt his hamstring, but he's fine. He's 6'5", left centre back, which already gives an advantage because it's quite hard to get left centre backs. It's quite hard to get left-sided players, particularly guys that play in that position. And if he develops like I think he might, then our left-sided defence will be very strong. I thought Danny Harvey, in the last 15-20 games, I wouldn't have swapped him for any left back in the league. He's under contract, and the big difference, he's a different player from Michael Rose. I don't expect there was many centre backs in Scotland coming out with the ball and driving 60-yard passes to people's feet. But what Sam's got on his advantage is when, as all the fans know, it took Michael about a season to bed himself in because he'd come from under 20 football. Sam played, I don't know how many games, it must have been about 30 games in the Championship last season, so he's hopefully good to go. And he's signed for 2 years, which is great from the board, and hopefully he'll kick on. And if he does give us 70-80 games and he goes then fine.
Do you think the toughness of the Alloa situation from last year, up against it a lot, defending hard to try and get through games, is the kind of experience that will...
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it helps that he was playing beside Andy Graham, who's a very experienced centre-back, an Area United legend in my eyes because of that penalty. And the worst decision I ever made was letting him go. But anyway, that's another story. But he's going to have, it'll be Stephen Bell or Jamie Adams or Aaron Muirhead, and they're they're all experienced, but Jamie and Stephen are vastly experienced. So I think that will help. And listen, he knows, and I've said to him that he looks like he's going to be a starter, but to stay in the team, I hope, same as any other club, I would hope, you've got to play well, you've got to do well. and you've got to keep improving. And I think a bit like Rose and a bit like Shanklin and a bit like Liam Smith and Danny Harvey and these guys, I think there's real improvement in them, and hopefully he'll do that in an United jersey.
So you've got all of these players, but you're still looking for key positions there. We obviously have got, I don't think we can use the word replacement for Shanklin that we're looking for.
Well,
I think that's a difficult word.
Yeah, that's a hard one. The rest of the boys are all terrific footballers, and in my opinion, they're going to have fabulous careers. Shanklin's quite hard to, and up until he gets his 2 wee injuries and all the talk that was going on about him, he was like Roy Race. I mean, he just, I think at one point he scored 60 goals in 60 games, which is just incredible. So yeah, I mean, if we manage to re-sign Robbie, that's 50-50 just now. I still think we need another defender. We certainly need 2 strikers and probably another wide midfield player, and more of a. I think we've got enough players that can play wider in a working way, but I think we maybe need a more winger type, because obviously Declan chose to leave to go to Dundee. So
you've got targets in line.
Yeah, I've got many targets. It's whether they're willing to come and accept what we offer. But there's some quite a lot of clubs done in the last 2 years, and Sam Roscoe, for example, did have other offers. I know what every manager in the world says this, but he did. He genuinely did. But he's friendly with Danny Harvey, and he's seen what we've done for some players. This club, not me, the club, and he thinks, well, maybe I can go there and progress my career, and hopefully he can.
Yes, there seems to be a kind of link in what you're doing. And if I take you back to the Gate, you were talking at that time about the United Football Academy. And there's a line of progression, but there's also a line of progression for players. You've seen it through Shanklin.
Well, see the line of progression thing that the young. I think the academy's done fantastically well for us to the players that he's bringing through. I think McCowan is potentially a star. The jury's still out now, though. He's got to go and produce it. But for example, the Stirrar have just signed Jinky. What Hilton now. If Jinky had been a defender, you're talking about progression. I would never let him go. But he plays in an area of the pitch where we're quite strong. You've got Forrest coming back. You've got Michael Moffat, the legend Michael Moffat. You've got Luke McCowan. You've got Craig McGuffey. So I didn't see a progression for him to get into our first team. With the other ones, it's just we've got to be very aware that we're not always going to be as lucky, for want of a better word, the type of boys we've taken from under 20s and had been let go and came through a system at bigger clubs and weren't quite ready to play there. We'll not always be that lucky, but if we get 1 or 2, then I'll be delighted.
We were talking earlier to Sam, and I was mentioning things like Danny Harvey, Scott McKenna, Michael Rose have gone through this progression thing through United. Yeah. And I think, would you see that when players are seeing that, they see that as an opportunity to come to United?
I think one of the reasons we got Sam Roscoe was because of that. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And Aberdeen Football Club have just been fantastic. Stephen Gunn has been fantastic to deal with. It's a bit, the 2 manager, assistant manager are my friends, and that's fine, but the way they've dealt with Ayr United, there's been incredible respect for them in the last 2 or 3 years. And I said to Derek about Michael Rose, sometimes fans will think, well, why did Michael Rose wouldn't have played in Aberdeen's first team. He had to move to play in a first team to progress. And that's sometimes the case, because but I cannot speak highly enough about how professionally Aberdeen go about their business.
So we've gone through signings, your targets. We've heard of some pre-season games coming up, but the couple that we've heard of, are they closed doors?
Yeah, closed doors at Queen's Park on the 2nd. And it's not called Murray Park now, I don't know what it's called, the Hummel Training Centre against Rangers on the 9th. So, we used to obviously get far more pre-season games, but with the Betfred Cup, I only look to maybe get 3 maximum, so we'll probably look to try and get one on the 6th, on the Saturday, and that'll be us ready to go to Berwick after that in the first game.
Again, the preparation of the surface at Somerset isn't quite ready yet. So
no, but they've done a lot of work on it, and we felt just the last 3 or 4 months it's got a bit bobbly, that didn't suit our style of play, but Willie Houston and the guys have been working their socks off, so is Jason, and it's looking great just now, and hopefully for the first 4 games Falkirk, hope we have a big crowd in the Betfred Cup for that, and hopefully the surface will, I'm pretty sure it'll be fantastic.
But that's going to mean that you're not going to be able to play any pre-seasons at Somerset?
No, we won't play any. I've got this thing about pre-season games anyway. All we have to do is for fitness. I just don't. Fans paying into pre-season games, I just don't think it's right. That's why I do a lot of stuff away from home or behind closed doors. So I think once the real stuff starts, then I'm hopeful the fans will come out again, just like they did for the vast majority of the last season. And I actually don't think that the Gates at home went down in the second half of the season, but I think it wasn't to do with we didn't play as well and there was a good few injuries and all the talk about players leaving, but I genuinely think we were a victim of our own success. It was all the scheduling, the Friday night games, then this game and then that game. I mean, fans like going to football on a Saturday at 3 o'clock, and I've not looked back, but I don't know how many games we had at Saturday at 3 o'clock at home in the last 2 or 3 months.
I think we've talked about this before. There were some fans at the end of the season talking about £15 average sort of gate, and you were getting 2 or 3 games and travelling away. That for some fans that just was an impossible ask as well.
No, listen, our fan base is growing fantastically well, and I hope they all know that this is a big rebuild, and they'll be patient with the team and come out in force again, because I said it years ago when I first arrived here, Somerset Park is a very, very special place when it's even got 2,500-3,000 in it. Very special.
Well, we're coming to that again. If I'm right, I was talking to Graham Miller just earlier, and he was saying that the season tickets should be out over the next few days.
I think they're out in the next 2 or 3 days, but fans will be able to buy them. And don't ask me about the new way to do it, the new tickets. I have no idea about stuff like that. But if we can match what we sold last year, or even improving that by 50 or 100, I'll be absolutely thrilled.
So does that money come through to you? Does most of that money come through to you?
Not me personally. Yeah, I mean, it all helps. It absolutely helps towards us signing players that we need. I mean, as I've said, if Robbie signs, we're still, and we get Ross Doohan, we're still 4 short. So, and particularly in the striker department, we certainly need 2 minimum. So yeah, absolutely it helps, yeah.
Thanks again, Ian, for this at the beginning of the season. I'm sure we're going to be in here again seeing signings, hopefully,
and all the best for this season.
Okay, thanks, Carl. Cheers.